Flight bus, bitch, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, I want to talk about the robbing energy. Yeah, that's right, the energy signature of being robbed. Now, y'all know what my channel is about. Y'all know all things takes its course before it even shows up in this physical reality for it to even be seen. You see what I'm saying? So all things takes its course elsewhere in the subconscious realm. So y'all know that's what I'm about to break down. Y'all know y'all probably hear about a lot of people getting robbed right now and this, that, and the third. But for the most part, I'm going to talk about where the fuck that even comes from and what gives people the feeling of wanting to steal in the first place. Now, check this out. You need to understand everything is about space. Now, you was born in a specific space and location. Now, based upon that specific location and space, city, state, country, whatever you want to call it, that you was born in, there was previous beings that predate you that lived there. Now, don't get lost when I say beings. It could have just been humans that then died from old age. So there were spirits and bodies that was in that space and location you was born in before you, that predated you. So they have already been pushing out energy, creating energy signatures and vortexes and spirals there before you. So when you are born in a specific neighborhood, you already feel the energy of what that neighborhood represents, whether you are aware of it or not. So based upon you and how you align yourself with the location that you live in, that's going to let you know if you can overcome or not. Because believe it or not, you picked your parents, the circumstance and situation, and even the space and location that you manifested and was born in. You picked that to reawaken yourself and gain the experiences that you may have lacked or didn't experience in a previous life. So you're creating new forms, new awake forms to awaken what have been sleep previously. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter how far, how high, or how low you are on the ladder. That's what your spirit has chosen, because those are the experiences you need to go through in order to develop the information to go higher on the ladder, spiritually. So when I say you're born in a specific location in space, everything is about space. And since we're all vortexing in that space, we have all manifested and created ideas, dreams, concepts, ways to go about things. So when you look at males being a sun, females being a moon, right? When you got a lot of suns and a lot of moons aligning with each other in a specific location, you're going to get this robbing concept. You're going to get this energy signature of robbing. Because here's the thing. A lot of people, aka suns and moons, are going to feel like they're being robbed for the space that they are in. And the space that they are in has a vortex and an energy signature that you could kind of take the elements and formulate your dreams with. Formulate your concepts. Now let me go in a little deeper for people who think I'm lost or something like that. Say it's too many males in a room. That's too much masculinity. You know what I'm saying? So that's too many sons. So off the back, y'all each male is trying to shine the brightest in that space. Now what's vortexing in that space? Ideas, dreams, ways to go about things. New ideas you can attach to your mental spaceship and develop it so you can go through that astral travel much more efficiently than the other sons. You see what I'm saying? Now you probably think, damn, can you break that more physical? Well, let me get down to you real logical people. When you at a job, say y'all work at a cell phone place, the energy vortex that y'all got to resonate with is selling cell phones. So if you want to be the best cell phone salesperson, then aka if you a male, you're going to shine your light, shine your consciousness, be most consciously aware on how to formulate that idea or that dream on how to sell the most cell phones. The better you know how to efficiently do that within that space and location of the cell phone building, the better you're going to be seen. So your light that you're emitting is going to be so bright that you can't see that kind of light because we're down here. But in so many realms of realities, you're going to be seen, and you're going to be the one that's that deserve the recommendation to be the manager or to get a raise faster than the other sons. Now, if you are a moon, see, it gets a little tricky when we talk about females, because females are the moons and moons are the space. So the feminine nature creates the masculine energy. So when we talk about the moon was the first light body. So the feminine was the first light body you created as a spirit. Then you created your masculine body. So when we look at females in general, spirits that like to take the female's body, they like to play out the characteristics of moons. So moons is the space. So this is why you can't have too many women, too many girls in one area trying to do the same thing. Y'all all gonna have to have some type of different attribute, aka y'all all gonna have to have your own position on doing something. When too many women is trying to do the same thing within one household or one business or one job, all hell's gonna break loose. Because women are the space. So women absorb the light that's getting emitted. So when a woman is trying to portray a light, when a woman is not being taken care of, when a woman is playing a position of trying to be the one that's trying to take care of things, trying to actually be the physical support system, trying to actually play the masculine energy, that's a moon trying to be a sun. That's a moon no longer trying to be transparent. That's a moon actually trying to become the physical representation and be masculine like. So even if a woman is very woman-like, and she's still doing everything in the house, paying all the bills, taking care of everything, and all that, and all this, that, and the third, she's still playing out the masculine energy. If your bitch ass at home babysitting because you ain't got no job, and she got 3 fucking jobs, I don't care how feminine she is, she's still portraying the masculine energy. So she is a moon that's no longer transparent. And a moon that's not transparent, wear and tear. Because look, in the astral realm, asteroids and things of that nature go into moons like wombs. So things are supposed to go through it. Especially if it don't resonate with it, it's supposed to just pass through it. That's how you get women, and then there's cycles. And then they flush out through, when they're on their period, flush out all the shit that's in them that's no use for it. So for the most part, that's like when you look at the moon and asteroids and this shit, and attachments and shit as far as concepts with the moon. But when you got a moon trying to be too transparent, it start trying to be too solid like the sun, and then the things don't pass through it. The things stick on it, and asteroids hit it and stick on it, and stuff start to bounce on it, bounce off of it, and then a moon is no longer transparent. AKA, this is where you see a wore out woman. A woman who work all the time. A woman who's lost in the concept of thinking this is what she's supposed to do. A woman who's lost in the concept of thinking this is how her man's supposed to act. And this is just a relationship for the time, and she have to do what she's supposed to do, just to keep the relationship going. That's a woman that's her moon is no longer transparent. So you see the wear and tear on her. So when she go around her family, go around her friends, y'all see the wear and tear on her. You see what I'm saying? So when there's too many moons in one area and location, that's not a good thing. Not for no suns or no goddamn moons. Definitely not for no goddamn suns, because that's a sun don't even understand the subconscious realm. So a male be drove crazy. Too many women around. I don't even give a fuck if you a gay male. You still gonna be drove crazy, because you're gonna be looking at them and trying to figure out concepts and ideas on how you need to act better to gain whatever you're trying to gain in your life. But at the end of the day, we talking about the situation where the feminine is never a good thing for anybody when there's too many moons in one area trying to do the same thing. Now, if you got a group of moons and they all understand their position, then they all can reign authority in that space. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, females is the space. So when there's too many moons in one area and location, they not only fighting for space, they're going to overthrow each other's space. So the other female, the other moon will feel robbed for her space. Because for the most part, this is how it play out in your existence. Your best friend or your females that you're around will rob you from your emotions, or rob you from your thoughts, or rob you from your actions. Then it'll play out physically to the point she'll rob you from your motherfucking man. And on the male side, for all the sons out there, when there's too many sons in one location, that's why I don't like to... I be driving around and shit, you know what I'm saying? I do my little 1-2, but when it's too many niggas in one area and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? That's like a constellation. There's too many suns. I don't want that much attention. I don't want to be that much light. All that light don't want to see me. I might go down another street, unless it's somebody that I gotta stop on real quick, and then it's 2 seconds and I'm in and out. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying? That's how I look at shit. I look at it like it's 1,000 niggas down the street when I'm driving. Oh shit, that's a constellation down there. And then it ain't even no moons. It's too many goddamn suns. That's too much goddamn light. Too much friction, too much of the same elemental energies in one spot, too much friction, too much rubbing. Ain't nothing good could come out of that shit. You see what I'm saying? In any scenario. I don't even want to pass through that motherfucker as Antares' big ass star. You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at shit. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, you know, when there's too many suns and moons in one area, we start to fight for space. This is what we're doing spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Because your space is your spirit. Now, based upon how much of the space you can take over, you reign supreme in that space. You become God of that space. This is where you hear God from. See, people think God, y'all missing the concept. You got animal beings, you got human beings, you got God beings. You know what I'm saying? All kind of shit. But these are beings. Now, as a spirit, all spirits can become a god. This is why that energy is so resonated with. Or so negatively looked at, or so positively looked at, depending on what realm of reality you in. If you in the realm of reality of entertainment business and all those vortexes, or politics and all those vortexes and spirals and energies, then the God to be your spiritual nature to be a God is a good thing. If you wrapped up in religious vortexes and things of that nature, or vortexes that was created outside of you, and you don't believe in yourself, you believe in something outside of you, then that's the negative aspect. You're going to look at your spirit like you can't be a god. You're going to look at your spirit like there only could be the God of the spirit that rule you. And that spirit gave you information on how to stay in that routine and pattern. So that's why you're in hell. And it even made you think it's a bad thing to look at yourself as a god. While you're creating every day. And that's what gods do, create. So if you are a lesser god creating every day, why let another God take your power away from you and make you think that you can never be like that? And then it even got you thinking that that's the overall God. So you think that's a negative idea to even think like that. So you lost in so many hells, so many dimensions and concepts. You're going to have to die and transform and be born again like over 50 million times before you can even come to the realization where I'm at today. And that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody told you to think like that. Nobody made you put a gun to your head and made you worship King James to think like that. Y'all motherfuckers need to stop hating on the Apocryphos books. Y'all motherfuckers need to start getting into like shit like the Book of Thomas and the Book of Philip and all the Apocryphos books. You know what I'm saying? The Book of Enoch and shit like that. Because these are stories from real niggas. Real niggas and bitches. That's how you got to look at it. Look at it like this. You got the real testimonies or some shit that Jesus agreed with, aka King James and everybody the same organization and government that set up to kill Jesus took all that information and made y'all under that same government and law. So y'all still under that same government and law today. So y'all not worshiping Jesus, y'all worshiping what Jesus did, but y'all worshiping the government and law that slayed everything he did. So y'all worship that. So y'all refuse to do what Jesus did because y'all know what happened to y'all. Where Jesus is doing the shit that niggas like me is doing and shit like that, and everybody else is doing that you need to do. You need to be yourself and understand yourself. You see what I'm saying? So, for the most part, y'all need to start reading. See, the Apocryphos book, I might be saying that wrong, but these books wasn't made and constructed by government to be put into the libraries or constructed by some type of law. You know what I'm saying? Which is the group of people who came to the terms and agreement that this should be the Bible or the Testament or the Old Testament or New. Wasn't no grouping shit. When you hear the Apocryphos, this is from like everyday people. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you're going to always hear the common sense. Think about it today. You go hear about a whole bunch of lost preachers, whole bunch of lost shit, and they know they be teaching lies, or a lot of times they don't know. And then you get on the internet, then you hear somebody who may lack logically on these things, but they understand common sense and they understand the real life. And then when you listen to them, you hear all the real shit in the world, right? You be like, damn, that make all the most sense in the world. Everybody that y'all read books about people who don't give a fuck about writing a book. Y'all read books about people who didn't even know how to speak, who didn't even know how to write. So these books could be lies because they are testimonies from people who was listening from the motherfuckers, who was talking to themselves and getting all this enlightened energies from the real God. You see what I'm saying? So when you listen to the Apocrypha, you're hearing stories from everyday niggas that didn't give a fuck about the government, didn't give a fuck about the getting mixed and mingled into the religious aspects and shit. They understood it from how they understood it from like regular. So that's what the Apocrypha is. So that's when you think about churches and religion, and then when you look at government, you can't create no law. You can't create no religion. You can't add on. Y'all got to go vote. And hopefully that the Senate and the houses and shit come to the terms of an agreement if your shit will work or not. You see what I'm saying? You can't do that. So look at the Bible in that same context. The Bible went through the same context of how laws get created today. How churches get created today and shit like that. How politics get created. The Bible went through that same system. So if you don't like government, if you don't like politics, if you don't like the way that system is ran, that's the shit the Bible went through. In order for them to know what scriptures to put in it and what ones to cancel. Now the Apocryphas, like the book of Thomas and the book of Enoch. Now these will be the shit that the government will allow today in the law. That's like if you had a good idea on what you need to do in your city and state, but you got to go through all the voting system, and then your idea may not come to fruition, knowing that you and your whole neighborhood came together and was like, this is what our neighborhood need. We need the street to be fixed, right? Now, if it don't go through the system, the street won't never be fixed, or the garbage never be took out at the right time, or your water pipes won't even be clean. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it like that. Why is that? So you the Apocrypha version. You and everybody in your neighborhood, y'all the Apocryphas. Y'all the Book of Thomases. Y'all see what the government is actually doing and y'all don't fuck with that shit. So why y'all not applying that to the same nature as like the Bible books? The one that's copywritten and King James and shit, it went through a governmental system. The ones that was trying to get kicked out of the system and was telling y'all don't look at it shit, that's from the everyday people. They gonna tell you what you need on your motherfucking mind. They gonna tell you what the fuck shit like I'm telling you right now. You see what I'm saying? So, when we get back to the robbing energy, this is for people, everybody feel like they're getting robbed for their space. So if you got a sun shining the brightest, he's shining the brightest in that space. And that space is dealing with ideas, concepts, and dreams. So if someone else shining in that space more than you, they can manifest and obtain more of that dream than you. So you're going to feel robbed from your dream. So it may even play out physically to the point that you even want to take the manifestations, the physical manifestations that this person had created from that dream, and you might even want to rob those things. Now, see what I'm saying? Because you feel incapable. You feel like you can't shine in that space anymore. And all for my females, y'all moons, when y'all all in one space, right? Y'all start to fight for space. So a female gonna feel like she's robbed from her space. She's going to feel robbed from her emotions when she got a prettier girl or a girl who could dress better next to her. Now she feel a certain way. So she feel robbed from her emotions. So she may even physically play out that attribute, carry a nasty attitude, or kind of be moody towards that girl. Or start to try to create rams for other people to be in about this girl. AKA go around other people and plant seeds in their head. Why is she always trying to get attention? Look how she dressed. Look at her earrings. Look at her bracelet when she come to work. You see how she be trying to get attention? And that might just be that girl characteristics. She ain't trying to get attention, but that's how it's going to play out when it's moons. Because the woman that feel like she need to go create auras for other people to see her and reflect the girl in that way is because the girl feel robbed from her space. She feel robbed from that imagination of people looking at her like that. And based upon where her moon is at, that's going to let her know what she likes to do and what she don't like to do in that space anyway. So she might not like to wear earrings or bracelets to work. But seeing this girl wearing bracelets and earrings to work, that's already going to put her in the nature like, see, that's why I don't do things like that. She do things like that because she's trying to get attention. Y'all trying to control the actual space. Like the females. So when the male come as a sun, he's attracted to the most powerful vortex that's spiraling in that space. AKA the girl that's vibrating the most. So she's reflecting the most. So she doesn't have to be the most prettiest. She doesn't have to be the most she doesn't have to be the most prettiest. She doesn't have to be the most well dressed, but if she's vibrating the most and her inner world is the best, then when it comes to that conclusion, she's in a situation where she just manifests other women who want to be like her. The other moons will reflect her or make themselves a part of that moon, and then it just becomes a big ass space. So when a male, when a son comes into that, he just run crazy and shit. He don't know what direction to go. You know what I'm saying? So he don't even know how to think. You know what I'm saying? It might even manifest into the point he end up getting hard and shit and getting aroused and shit like that for no fucking reason. Just round eyes going everywhere. Your son consciousness being around every goddamn where. So, you know, keep that in mind. And when another son come trying to be seen in that space, if he's shining more than you, then you gonna feel robbed from being seen in that space. So now you're gonna feel like to rob him from something, rob him from his idea in that space, rob him from his actions in that space. So you could be seen more, and you could be reflected or absorbed in whatever how many moons is in that space at the location, aka females. But it goes in even deeper to this. This shit is deep, man, for real. But Flight Boss, bitch, that's the Robin energy. Like, and I didn't even get deep into it. You know, Flight Boss, bitch, goddamn air.